Crop circles are one of the most contentious issues in UFOlogy today. Growing up a Stranger Things kid in the 1980s and the early 90s, playing D&D and listening to metal before cell phone cameras and UFO Twitter, I can tell you that crop circles were all the rage when it came to UFOs and extraterrestrials when I was growing up. Patterns, sometimes even mathematical formulas, etched into crop fields by unknown forces. Almost anyone at the time would tell you the same thing. They're communications from the stars, or remnants of landing sites. Some have even claimed to have witnessed these UFOs over fields, snapping pictures like this one. But when two men, Doug Bauer and his co-conspirator Dave Corley, confessed they had been behind many of these circles, using wooden planks and a rope, the phenomenon at that time actually became even greater and took off across the world. But it wasn't long after this that the fascination with these circles began to fade. Crop circles were dead. Hoaxes created by people hungry for attention.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is true. The NVIDIA marketing team is behind this phenomenon. What you're looking at here.
But I'm here today to set the record straight for you, the people of Earth. You've been lied to. Many researchers claim that US, British, and German intelligence communities are involved with discrediting crop circle research behind the scenes. It seems once again someone wants to keep the public in the dark. Many farmers have even said that they've been offered money by certain authorities to cut down these crop formations shortly after they appear. Military helicopters flying at low altitudes are also frequently witnessed after new formations appear. The stigma is real, but here's the truth and the facts. Some things you may not know. Like, did you know that not every crop circle is man-made? In fact, 20% remain unexplainable, with the earliest indications of crop circles going all the way back to 1678, as a part of a news pamphlet titled The Mowing Devil, or Strange News out of Hertfordshire, about a crop circle in England. Varied accounts of eyewitnesses seeing fire, aftermath reports ranging from religious to alien-like arguments on why and how it happened. The truth is, no man-made formations have ever produced the most striking characteristics associated with the genuine phenomenon. Mysterious shifts in the magnetic field that give rise to the current that electrocutes the crops, forcing them to lie flat on the ground, leaving behind plants whose stems are bent yet not broken. Secondly, alterations in the crystalline structure of these plants themselves are always present. Changes in the local electromagnetic field are also detected within these formations. Finally, there is the ability of these plants to grow even after being plowed, indicating that they are still alive and haven't been trampled, as they have been with counterfeit circles. These aspects of the mystery are well documented, but often the most withheld from the public. When one of these groups attempts to replicate the phenomenon, it's accomplished over several days, or with a large, well-funded team using equipment such as halogen lights and cranes, allowing them to work throughout the night. Such efforts typically attract large crowds of onlookers and local authorities with the full knowledge of the landowner. Bringing me to today's topic, October 4th, 2022. This crop circle, one of the most intricate and precise circles they've seen in South America. A series of geometric shapes, beginning with a pentagon on the outside, followed by a circle, then a triangle, and ultimately finishing with a solid sphere at the center, was discovered in Ipaucu, Brazil. In this region, the first circle was recorded on November 8, 2008. At the time, residents found circles around 19 meters in diameter. A year later, in the same city, an arrow-shaped design 44 meters long appeared in a wheat field. In November 2010, a similar case to the current one was also registered in Ipaucu. But the case that attracted the most local attention occurred on November 6, 2011, in the same city, on a property located 3 kilometers from the center of Ipaucu. At the time, the inhabitants spotted 8 circles of varying sizes ranging from 1.5 meters to 24 meters, connected to each other. There was also a figure in the shape of a keyhole. Due to these crop circles and local legends, the city has acquired international importance and has been one of the top destinations chosen by people dedicating their lives to the study of UFOlogy. But is intelligent life from another world really responsible for these crop circles? Could there be hidden messages within the circle? And if so, what does this puzzle contain? Could it contain knowledge, or maybe coordinates? The first clue to solving this puzzle comes from decoding the internal geometry of the new crop picture. We can see both a pentagon outside of this circle and a triangle inside. Those 2 clues suggest that we should be looking for something nearby in the landscape, which can be represented by 2 numbers, 5 or 3, to give a total of 8. Now when we study the landscape just below the new crop picture using Google Earth, we can immediately see a large rectangle made from 2 rows of 4 squares each, to give the expected total of 8. 5 of those squares remain uncovered and may be seen easily from the sky. 3 of those squares appear fully or partially covered by the overhanging trees, which were brought to our attention by the crop picture, now seem to show a capital letter L, standing for love. Also, the large landscape anomaly of what looks like a resplendent console seems to be looking on from the right. Next, when you turn the same landscape image anti-clockwise by 90 degrees, the console bird seems to be looking down on the town of Ipaucu from above. When we zoom out using Google Earth so as to study that same landscape near Ipaucu, over a broad scale we can see another very large capital letter L for love above the previous one, which was made from the 8 small squares. In summary, I believe the coded hidden message of this crop picture seems to be that a resplendent console is looking down on the town of Ipaucu in Brazil with love for all the people living there. But perhaps in addition to all these geometric shapes and the effects in the wheat, there is something deeper in it that vibrates in the spectrum of energies of the universe that the human perception does not reach, containing messages not yet deciphered. And in this case, this mysterious formation, something else, was hidden. With the word also spreading around that this circle was exhibiting strong magnetic pulses, triggering the government and military officials to get involved. Electronic, paranormal, and UFO researchers were also very interested, led by Alcides Cores. They took several measurements inside as well as outside this circle, using 2 different electromagnetic field meters. While the readings overall revealed a relatively weak electromagnetic field, the discovery of these much larger electromagnetic pulses was very mysterious, as we are still unaware of the technology that could produce such a phenomenon. But there is certainly the involvement of some sort of unknown energy here that we can assume is of an electromagnetic nature or a high frequency, perhaps in the microwave range. We have seen these high magnetic readings in the wheat stalks of various crop circles before, and the magnetic field could be due to the crop circle's close proximity to the city of Ipaucu. Furthermore, it is known that the southern region is under the Great Magnetic Anomaly of the South Atlantic, an immense area that is characterized by a great weakening of the global magnetic field, which is why NASA tries to avoid sending satellites or space flights over it. Yet at the same time, no fluctuations on the researchers' instruments were recorded, and no anomalies were seen on personal electronics like cell phones or compasses. As for what the researchers think created the design, one physicist indicated to one media outlet the fact that the design begins where a tractor had laid down a track, suggests people used that spot as an entryway into the field to conceal their footprints. Meanwhile, an agricultural expert enlisted by a Brazilian TV station offered a more ambiguous take, noting that something as simple as a stump could have been used to create the circle, but also observed that the position and the dimensions are extremely straight lines, which leaves doubt in the air as to how exactly the formation was formed. But I can only wonder, secret messages that can only be deciphered from the sky, strange magnetic pulses. If the Southern Atlantic anomaly caused these spikes in electromagnetism, could those spikes be attracting non-human entities there to create these crop circles? Could these entities be displaying love for the human race? Strangely enough, this is actually the second time that this farmer at this location has fallen victim to the phenomenon, as another design had actually appeared in his field back in 2015. The phenomenon of crop circles is perhaps more complex than we could imagine. Could it be that these formations are communications from otherworldly intelligence of a superior order? If it's true that intelligence services of multiple countries share an interest in concealing the phenomenon, then what national organization or power structure does it threaten? Some believe that the crop circles are messages meant for mankind that might awaken our consciousness to the reality that we're not alone. At the very least, it can be acknowledged that some unknown force is responsible and that certain powerful entities are working to conceal this fact. Unfortunately, electromagnetic radiation dissipates quickly and leaves no traces, making this phenomenon hard to study. As shown in other formations, after all was said and done, the researchers claimed nothing out of the ordinary here, covering their tracks once again. In the end, the reason for the cover-up remains a mystery. So what are your thoughts? Hit me up in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this topic, and do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now for more interstellar happenings.